Welcome to Message Engineer Episode 2, Provider Flow. I'm Maureen Schaefer, and you can find me on LinkedIn or via bit.ly/Mingletoe. Why are we talking about provider flow? Which problem are we trying to solve? The answer is target market. Oftentimes I find with my clients that once we start overlaying who the providers are on top of the patient treatments and tests and journey, we find out different things that we didn't know before. So, kind of three things we're going to look at here. One, healthcare practitioners, obviously, and referrals. Two, complexity. And three, clinical guidelines. So, healthcare practitioners. What we want to do here is align healthcare practitioners and being very specific about that choice of term. So not just physicians, obviously yes, physicians, but also the nurses, radiation techs, dialysis techs or nurses, the other people involved in that patient journey. So take a look at your patient journey, which you mapped in episode 1, and tag providers who are with the patients throughout their treatments and tests. Now go back and say, okay, where are some of the major complications happening? Are these people also typically seen for stroke as a result of hypertension or as a result of AF? If so, they're seeing emergency room technicians and physicians. They're also probably seeing stroke neurologists, depending upon which institution they are in. They may be attending a Coumadin clinic and interacting with nurses there. Other folks may be managed with remote patient monitoring. So in addition to seeing their PCP, they may also, or their cardiologist, they may also be interacting with a patient monitoring nurse in the facility. Additionally, one of the providers may be an IDTF, an independent diagnostic testing facility, depending upon what's happening with the monitoring, or some other type of facility like that for other types of digital health. So very thoroughly lay out the providers across the patient treatments and tests, which we did last time. Then think through what are some of the key complications which happen with this group of patients. Where are they seen for that? Who sees them? What are the results of that? Build that complexity into your model as well. And what I'll also say is referrals. Lastly, referrals. So when you have this laid out and mapped out, then go back and look at it. So for example, I had a client who was had been focused on and spending time developing a product with the provider at the end of the referral stream, at the complete end of the referral stream. Once we mapped this out, she realized that the providers just prior to the ones they had been focusing on, actually could do this procedure and were doing this procedure with other devices concomitantly with an extraordinarily common procedure. So additionally, they were focused on conducting an IDE, hadn't started it yet, with folks refractory to the end provider, at the end of the referral stream providers, refractory to that procedure. And it became more and more apparent that they may want to rethink that that's not where they wanted to ultimately end up. So mapping that out, and you may say, why are you talking about IDE trials when we're talking about messaging? Well, because the indications you're going to get are going to be the function of what the endpoints are with that trial that you're going to be able to go to market with as part of your message. So that becomes critical to think through this thoroughly up front in order to maximize your success in the end on the commercial side. All right, so one last place to look, clinical guidelines. So we talked about finding the clinical guidelines last time. Go back now and take a look at those and make sure that you've picked up all of the specifics around the management of patients for your specific whom you're specifically targeting, those specific diagnoses, for your diagnostic or your treatment or your digital health, tele-therapeutic. That's it. So thanks so much for listening today. Really appreciate it. Like, follow, share, subscribe if you found this valuable, and we'll see you next time for episode 3, Facility Flow. Thanks again.